Jamie Harper and the Clockwork Conspiracy. The bells of the Harborview town clock chimed at noon, then kept chiming. Jamie Harper looked up, puzzled. The clock's hands were spinning wildly, faster and faster, until they stopped at midnight and fell silent. "That's odd," Jamie muttered. The town clock had kept perfect time for over 100 years. Now, its malfunction sent whispers of worry through the crowd gathered in the square. Mayor Willis made an announcement. "The gears that power the clock have been stolen," he said grimly. "And without them, the clock can't be fixed." Jamie's detective instincts kicked in. Who would steal something so unique? And why? Jamie headed to the clock tower to investigate. The old building smelled of oil and sawdust, its tall interior dimly lit by sunlight streaming through dusty windows. On the floor near the clock's mechanism, Jamie found a scrap of paper with a single word scrawled on it: tick. She flipped it over and saw a tiny sketch of a gear. What's this supposed to mean? Jamie wondered, tucking the clue into her notebook. That night, while lying in bed, Jamie heard a faint ticking sound. She followed it to her windowsill, where she found a small clockwork mouse, its gears turning faintly. Attached to it was another note: "Follow the time." The note filled Jamie with both excitement and determination. The thief was toying with her. The next day, Jamie visited Mr. Hargrove, Harborview's clockmaker, hoping he could identify the gear sketch. His shop was cluttered with ticking clocks and half-finished repairs. Mr. Hargrove adjusted his glasses. "This gear is part of a rare set, custom-made for the town clock. Without it, the clock can't run." Jamie noticed something strange. One of the clocks on his workbench had the same gear symbol carved into its casing. Jamie's curiosity led her to ask Mr. Hargrove more questions, but he became defensive. "I've got nothing to do with the missing gears," he said quickly. Jamie wasn't sure if she believed him. As she left, she noticed a flyer in his shop advertising a secret clockwork exhibition happening in 2 days. Determined to find answers, Jamie returned to the clock tower that night. She hoped the thief might return to the scene of the crime. Instead, she discovered footprints in the dust, leading to a hidden door beneath the tower stairs. Inside, she found a small room filled with diagrams of clock mechanisms and tools for dismantling gears. Jamie's heart raced. Was this the thief's workshop? As Jamie inspected the room, she heard footsteps above her. Peeking out, she saw a shadowy figure climbing down the tower. Jamie followed them, but lost sight of them near the docks. The next day, Jamie and Max decided to investigate the clockwork exhibition. It was being held at an old warehouse by the waterfront. They found an invitation tucked under their doorstep, signed only with the word "tick." "Looks like we're invited," Max said, grinning. The exhibition was dazzling. Automaton birds chirped, tiny trains puffed steam, and mechanical animals moved lifelike in their glass cases. But Jamie's attention was drawn to a display in the corner, a glass case with gears identical to those missing from the town clock. "Where did these come from?" Jamie whispered. Jamie overheard a conversation between the exhibition's host, a woman named Miss Coraline, and a man with a deep voice. "The clock gears are magnificent," the man said. "But how did you acquire them?" Miss Coraline smiled. "A magician never reveals her secrets." Jamie noticed Max slipping away to inspect the gears more closely. But as he approached the display, an alarm blared. Guards appeared, and the room erupted in chaos. "Run!" Jamie shouted, pulling Max toward the exit. Escaping through the back of the warehouse, Jamie found a hidden workshop filled with unfinished clockwork creations. On a table was a blueprint for a machine labeled the Eternal Clock. "What's the Eternal Clock?" Max asked. Jamie frowned. "I think it's a machine that controls time." They found another note tucked inside the blueprint: "When the clock strikes 13, time will be mine." Jamie realized Miss Coraline wasn't just stealing gears. She wanted to build a machine to control the town clock and possibly time itself. Jamie and Max decided to return to the clock tower. If Miss Coraline needed the tower to complete her plan, she would strike soon. They hid in the shadows, waiting. At midnight, Miss Coraline arrived, carrying the final piece of her machine: the stolen gears. She began assembling the eternal clock atop the tower. Jamie couldn't wait any longer. "Stop right there," she shouted, stepping into the light. Miss Coraline laughed. "You're clever, Jamie, but you can't stop progress." She activated the eternal clock, and the entire tower began to shake. Clock hands spun wildly as gears whirred. Jamie and Max dodged mechanical arms as they tried to reach the control panel. Using the blueprint they had found, Jamie figured out how to disable the eternal clock. She pulled a lever, and the machine ground to a halt. Miss Coraline screamed. "No, you don't understand what this machine could do." As the machine collapsed, Miss Coraline tried to flee. Jamie chased her down the tower stairs and cornered her. "It's over," Jamie said firmly. Miss Coraline confessed. "I wanted to make Harborview famous by building the greatest clock in the world. I never meant to hurt anyone." Jamie sighed. While her intentions weren't entirely bad, stealing was still wrong. The stolen gears were returned to the clock tower, and the town clock was repaired just in time for the annual festival. Jamie reflected on the case. The mayor declared, "Thanks to Jamie Harper, Harborview's time is once again in good hands." The moral of the story is true progress isn't achieved by cutting corners or taking from others. It comes from working together and respecting what's already built. As the last piece of the puzzle clicked into place and the gears of the clockwork mystery finally stopped turning, Jamie Harper allowed herself a moment to breathe. But just as she started packing her notebook, Max rushed over, holding a strange, copper-plated card. "It was left on the doorstep," he said, his voice laced with excitement. Jamie read the engraved words aloud. "The time for answers is ticking down. Will you solve it before it's too late?" Jamie's eyes sparkled with determination. "Looks like the clock's still ticking." What's the next challenge waiting for Jamie Harper? Find out in her next thrilling adventure.